So, Khosrov boss, how you doing, brother?
Good, brother. I wish I had hair. So I would do this,
No, you look great, man. You look great. FightersRep veteran at this point. You got 3 fights with us. Some of the most exciting fights we've had at FightersRep have been because of Khosrov boss. And it's great seeing you again, man. What have you been up to?
Brother, to be honest, I've been training, I've been staying ready. I've been training very hard after my last fight. To be honest, I'm not happy with any of my performances that I did in FightersRep, none of them. Just the second one wasn't that bad, but I mean,
The second one was excellent.
No, it was nice, but it wasn't like I wanted it to be, you know?
Right.
It wasn't super professional, the stands, everything. I've been working super hard on everything right now.
Yeah.
We've been working with Tony like crazy, you know? And I'm sure that this time, this next fight, it's gonna be totally different show, you know? You're gonna see pro level.
Well, that last fight was a barn burner too, man. That was exciting.
I was too emotional on my last fight. You know, I didn't like my last fight. I mean, I hated the guy so much when we were fighting, you know. We didn't like each other, you know. Sometimes, you know, you see an opponent, you like him. Like, for example, my first fight.
Yeah.
I saw Eduardo, I like this guy, he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
Second fight, I see guy, he's like a little bit very nervous, this and that. I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna. But this guy, when I saw him from first, no, I didn't like this guy.
Why? What happened?
I don't know. I just didn't like the way he acts. Because he acts like me. I don't like people to act like me. You know, I don't like when people start doing this ego thing, you know, I go crazy. And then he's a good guy. I mean, I listened to what he said after the fight, this and that, respect this and that. I appreciate, but I didn't like this guy at the start, man, when this thing started. After the fight we were cool, but when this thing started, during the fight we were talking so much shit to each other. You don't understand.
What I gotta ask.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the fight, he said something, and it seemed to really piss you off.
Oh yeah, he told me that I'm hitting him after clinch.
Oh.
So I was like, what? I'm not, because the clinch was not allowed in first point. So I was hitting him. He puts me clinch, I hit him, and he's like, you keep on hitting me after clinch, after the referee stop.
I see.
Yeah,
I thought he said something like derogatory about you or something. I was like,
no.
Okay.
He wasn't disrespectful at all. I mean, even between, we did say some stuff to each other between the fight, but it was quick. We didn't get mad for it. Like, you know, like, fuck you, this and that. But it wasn't like, it was just like friendly fuck you, know? Like kind of showish fuck you.
Yeah,
know?
friendly fuck you.
Like, in a good way, like fuck you in a good way, you know?
No condoms, but still. No, that's horrible.
But I didn't like it in a sense that we were both super untechnical when we were fighting because of the emotions. At some points, you know, I didn't like the way I look because I'm way more technical than that, and I feel that I'm a technical fighter. And in that fight, I was just super emotional, and I was throwing that big overhand for no reason. I never throw overhands. That's why I don't like my fights. I keep throwing some stuff during my fights that I never throw during trainings, you know. But it comes with time, you know, with experience. These things come. Especially, I'm telling you, after the last fight, I was so upset. I didn't like the way I performed, and I was murdering myself in training. You don't really understand. I'm training like pros and even harder than some of them. I'm training 2 times a day, every day, not missing a single training. And even when I wanna miss, when I think about missing it, my coach doesn't let it happen, you know.
You're talking about Tony.
Yeah.
I like that. Keep him honest, Tony. Keep him honest,
sometimes
bro.
I'm like, I wanna text him like, I don't wanna come. I'm tired or something, but I don't text it. I know I text it, he's in my house now. It's gonna be more headache for me, you know. It's better for me to go.
I love it.
So with this kind of people, you know, there's no chance that we're not winning this title, brother. FightersRep title coming soon, inshallah.
I'm sure you have the talent to do it. One thing I did notice about your last fight, well, a couple things, and we've talked about one before. The first thing, though, I'm going to compliment you because I felt like your head movement was incredible in some of those exchanges. You were dodging some of those punches, and he's a great fighter too. He's a young kid like you coming up with a lot of talent. He's bigger than you, but I think he's very also technical, more of a Muay Thai kind of fighter, but I think he's great too. But you showed incredible head movement in that fight, which I was really impressed with. The other thing was your weight, man. I felt like you cut too much weight. Maybe you waited too long. Was that kind of a factor in that fight?
Actually, I cut the most I cut in my life.
Because you looked like you were dying at the
yes,
weigh-in.
Even during the fight, I remember this was first. It never happened to me before. The fight starts and I'm like, I don't know what's up with me. I'm weak, man. I can't breathe properly, from that weight cut. And I'm standing and I'm like, the music plays and I make myself that no, let's go, everything's gonna. And then I go and it starts and then I'm like, I fight, I throw some combos, and then at one point I feel so tired. I feel that I'm so weak, that from that weight cut. And even if you look at my body over there, it's not. I'm usually more athletic when I go into a fight. This fight just drained me,
Yeah.
I didn't feel good, and the head movement actually, that was my mistake as well, because for that fight I did boxing camp for that fight. I didn't do kickboxing.
I see.
So that's why I had the head movement, but I couldn't play with that distance, with kickboxing distance. It was different because I practiced boxing, and then I go there. Yes, I can sleep. Like even the kicks, punches that I dodged, I didn't dodge it in Muay Thai style. I dodged it in boxing style.
Yeah.
That was my mistake. That's why I work on my mistakes. I always look, analyze, and move on. Man.
I love that. But I will say, I felt like, and this is not to take anything away from Sai. I mean, he fought a great fight, and you both fought a great fight. And there were some penalties, and who knows what would have happened if it would have been a clean fight. But not to take anything away from him, he did great. But I just felt like I saw you at weigh-in, and I was just like, oh man, like I hope Khos is okay, And then after the fight, I thought about your performance at the previous FightersRep, where you fought. I think it was I forgot the kid's name, the kid with the Muay Thai base. It was your second fight. Yeah, Archila, the one that you won, the fight that you won. And I said, man, that Khos looked like he was ready to fight, and you put on a hell of a performance that night. You were, the main event, and you lived up to the main event that night, So I know you were kind of kicking yourself after the last fight, but I know you're just going to come back and learn from it. It's not a big deal. You look great and size great, and it's going to be a lot of opportunities for you guys coming up in the future. You told me though you were supposed to compete in Muay Thai.
I was supposed to compete a couple times, but it got postponed due to coronavirus. Actually, the situation with coronavirus, it's crazy right now. It's impossible to find. I'm finding fights outside California, and even those fights in Arizona, in Oklahoma, these all shows, they keep getting postponed and canceled. And some of them, like the Muay Thai Open, it got postponed like 1 week before the event, and I already cut the weight.
Why'd that happen there?
I called them and I spoke to them, and they said that the athletic commission said that they want to implement new rules.
So they just happened to do it the week before? I mean, that's kind of weird.
It's silly, man. I have already everything booked, and then the other thing is I cut my weight. It was so hard to cut weight, man.
Yeah.
I cut so much, and then again they postponed it. I keep staying ready, but yeah. And on my last fight, as I said, no excuses. No matter how hard was my weight cut, no matter what other problems I had, my finger hurt, or that doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
It's just an excuse, So we're gonna come back. We're gonna come back stronger. We're gonna come back and kill people, inshallah.
What weight are you gonna be fighting at?
Actually, I raised my weight. I was fighting in 155, 158 weight division, but right now we're gonna fight in 172.
Okay. You do look bulkier.
I can't cut that much. I can cut that much if we're gonna fight pro. In that case, I would cut them. But in amateurs, I don't think there's any.
It's not necessary for you to cut down some weight when you're fighting in the amateurs.
Yeah.
If you beat bigger guys, it's good for you. If you lose, you still have room to improve because you can fight the weight class.
Exactly.
I like that, Tony. Yeah, that makes sense. So, we're aiming for February, but it's the same situation here, of course. California, are they gonna let us do fights or not? Coming down to the
Don't
wire,
postpone,
brother.
Please don't postpone fights, brother. Or at least postpone them 1 month before the event, man. No, some fighters, they get emotional before fights. Can you imagine? He waits 1 month.
No,
and then 1 week before the fight, you are like, no, it's canceled.
You know what's amazing about FightersRep 9 though is we got it off like 2 weeks before this whole thing happened. Did you realize that?
No, actually the last show, it was amazing. I really liked the last show, and I actually, for 2 weeks you did that show?
No, I'm saying we did it like the week or 2 weeks before Corona happened and the whole world shut down. Like we barely got that show through, and then all of a sudden the world shut down. Did you notice that?
No, I didn't.
Because it was at the end of February. It was like it was February 29th because it's a leap year. And then in March, the coronavirus happened.
Crazy, man. I didn't even
I mean, if I would have delayed it a couple more weeks, there would have been no FightersRep 9. You know?
I would have 0 losses.
Hey, that was, if you're gonna lose, that's the way you lose. You know what I mean? Very close fight, get a lot of good experience. I thought it was great. Khos, you're from Azerbaijan. Besides a lot of stuff going on there now, you know, you've also got an interesting background. You played soccer.
That's right.
You decided to get into fighting.
I kind of started fighting when I was a kid, but I did it for myself, you know. My uncle was crazy about fighting, and since I was 4, I started with Aikido. And my parents put me to Aikido not because of the fighting, but mostly because of the mental. Because in Aikido, you can never attack, you only defend. It's like counter-attack.
I see.
So because of that philosophy, they put me in Aikido, so I would learn that philosophy, not attacking people and stuff, because I was a really aggressive kid when I was young, you know.
Yeah. I couldn't tell.
So I started training early. I moved just like my coach. I moved from there to Taekwondo, then I moved to kickboxing, to boxing. But I did it just like 2-3 times a week for myself, not as a professional, you know, just for myself. And I was playing football meanwhile. Football I did like professionally. I was training all day, every day. I played for my national team. I played in England. I played in Russia. Played back home. So at one point I got an injury and I couldn't get into the team in England when I was 18. So after that injury I went to Russia, I played there for a year. But then football is no fighting. Fighting, you can start fighting when you're 20, when you're 25, you can start. But in football you can't start when you're at that age. You can, like, I mean, after you're 20, it's really hard to get into
You're
a
a has-been
team.
after that, you're done.
Because it's an investment, it's a big investment in you, you know?
Yeah.
So it was hard, and I just decided to go to fighting. And then in football I always had this problem. I'm very egoistic. I am not good for team sports, you know? I would always fight, you know. I would always make excuses. Like if we lose, I say that's not because of me. That's because of this guy. They can't play, you know. And I was getting mad when I play football. It's crazy. I go mad. I always shout.
Soccer.
It's football, soccer. American way.
Did you ever?
European football.
Did you ever fight anyone in a soccer game?
Yes, it happened a lot of times, especially in university.
Goodness.
In London, when we played the university against university, we used to get into scrambles like that. But it's not like proper fight on the field. You know, it's like.
Oh, soccer players have the worst temper. They have the worst temper. Oh, especially in France. Africans, North Africans, man, they kill you for a soccer game. Yeah, we have the worst, you know, like fans in the world, hooligans. It's from soccer.
Yeah.
Look, no baseball, no basketball, no American football.
You know what they do?
Raiders or whatever, they have nothing next to hooligans.
Do you know what they do in Russia?
Oh,
right now with this hooligan thing.
Don't they go into groups and like fight?
No,
each other?
they have teams. So look, let's you have Spartak Moscow, right?
Yeah.
It has 3 squads. First squad is like good fighters, you know, who prove themselves. Then there's second squad, they're weaker, and then it goes down. They have like reserve and first squad, you know, for fighting. And then they're like master of sports. They're like proper fighters. They're no joke, you know. They're not like street crackheads that go and fight each other. You know, it's
we
like
got a lot of those
sport.
here. We got a lot of those here. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Yeah, well, you know, hopefully we make this happen, Kos. Hopefully we make this happen. We got incredibly talented guys like yourself, Kovalev, Gabe Silva, you know, and on, man. Danny Lozano. I mean, so many young, talented, incredibly talented young fighters, man. It'd be a shame if we can't do fights next year, man. Anything you want to say before I let you go? And
No.
appreciate you, Kos. Thank you, brother. Thank you, man.
Man.